Hey guys, it's Javier and welcome to another training video. This workout was a body weight only upper body workout where I was focused on building up some muscular endurance, some grip strength, as well as building some muscle mass. I try to keep the rest periods as short as possible in this one, so I'm never really recovering fully in between sets, and I'm using antagonistic exercise pairings. So for this workout, that means doing one pushing exercise alternated with one pulling exercise. You can feel free to substitute different exercises depending on your experience level and what equipment you have available to you. So for example, you could do dips or shoulder presses, or even cable tricep extensions, a machine press. Doesn't really matter. The important thing for this workout is maintaining the pace of the workout and making sure you're pairing antagonistic exercises. If you were to do, for example, all pressing exercises in a row, then it's going to be much harder to maintain the reps from one set to the next. It was already pretty hard to maintain the reps with this workout, even though I am alternating a push and a pull. As you see, my grip was starting to give out on me pretty quickly with these towel chin-ups, which I actually find to be much harder than doing rope chin-ups because of that small grip. But yeah, anyways, you want to choose exercises that you will be able to sustain for at least 3 sets each and make it through the whole workout. If you're really just dying after the first set, then all you need to do is pick a movement that's a little bit easier and then build your way up from there. I really enjoy this style of training when I'm not wanting to bother with timing my rest intervals or counting reps. All I do for this type of workout is decide up front on what exercises I'm going to do and how many sets for each one, and then I just go start to finish. I enjoy using this type of workout as a form of stress relief also, because I find when the structure of the workout is very simple and easy to follow, you don't have to worry about setting specific weights or setting up equipment, stopping to write anything down. It really lets me just zone out a bit, and I can just focus on my technique and my breathing. And you'd be surprised how much your mental state can change just from 10 to 20 minutes of an intense workout. If you're someone who struggles with finding the motivation to train, the best piece of advice that I can offer you is to just get started and the motivation will follow. It doesn't work the other way around. If you are just sitting around waiting to feel motivated, waiting to have the energy to train, you're just going to keep sitting around because it's never going to happen. Not all of the workouts that you do are going to start off feeling great, but once you get your blood flowing, you get moving, you'll feel better and you're getting a great workout. The key is just getting started in the first place. One thing to keep in mind with a workout like this is that just because the rest intervals are short doesn't mean that you're going to be rushing through the sets or using sloppy technique. The more important factor here is the work to rest ratio. So it's actually better to take longer to complete fewer reps than to do a set with more reps that takes less amount of time. This next exercise here is one of my favorite movements for the triceps, and you can make this one easier by using a bar that's higher up instead of that close to the ground. But the key is trying to set up the movement so that you can get full range of motion at the bottom. So that means when you get all the way to the bottom, the forearms are touching the biceps there, and you get a good stretch through the triceps. If you're doing little short choppy reps with this movement, you're not going to get a ton out of it. So I definitely recommend going for as much range of motion as you can get. Just make sure that you make the exercise easy enough so that you can accomplish that. When you're training to failure, that means stopping when your technique breaks down. So for a pull-up, that means if you have to start swinging your body around or kicking your legs up, you've already gone too far. That's already past the failure point. I'm okay with a little cheat or assist on the last rep or two, but if you do too much of that, then you're not really strengthening the muscle groups that you're trying to strengthen, and you're completely changing the exercise into a different movement. When you're struggling to get through the sticking point of an exercise, that's really the most effective result producing part of the workout. So essentially, you always want to be looking for ways to make the workout harder, not easier, especially when it comes to bodyweight workouts, since it's not as simple as just adding some additional weight or external load in some way. So it's really the technique that you use that makes the exercises more or less challenging. With pull-ups, for example, if you're not used to coming all the way down at the bottom and letting the arms lock out, then that's the part of the pull-up that's going to become weak. On the other hand, if you tend to not pull all the way to the top, then the top of the pull-up is going to become weak. The important thing is to understand where your weaknesses are so you can focus most of your energy on those areas and obviously get better results. Don't let your ego get in the way of progress because you feel self-conscious about working on movements that you're not strong at. A lot of people feel that way in the beginning, but the sooner that you get over that and just focus on what you need to do for yourself to improve, then the faster you're going to be on your way to seeing some real progress. One thing I've noticed across all types of athletes is that the most successful ones are always looking for new ways to improve and to challenge themselves. But on the other hand, the athletes that stagnate and never really progress beyond a certain point, they tend to always go back to their comfort zone and stick with the techniques and training methods that they're already good at and familiar with, but they won't try to push their boundaries by adding something new into the routine. Even if it's something that at first doesn't even seem like it makes sense, sometimes you just have to try something out for yourself first, see how you react to it, see how it feels, and then you'll be able to make a decision about whether or not it's something you're going to keep into your regular training routine. The last pull-up variation I used is the easiest of the three, and you want to structure your workout like that. So do the harder exercises in the beginning when you have more energy and more strength, and as you go through the workout and your fatigue starts to accumulate, go ahead and progress to the easier exercises so you can continue getting in good reps. The push-up was the last pressing exercise that I used, and despite this being a very basic exercise, I find that a lot of people get the body positioning wrong on this one. You want to make sure to keep the abs and legs tight so the body stays in a straight line, and the movement is actually slightly forward as you go down so that the shoulders end up in front of the wrist and you can get all the way level to the floor. And at the top, make sure to lock out the elbows all the way and fully protract the shoulders as well. If you perform the technique like this, it's probably going to be a lot harder than the way you're used to doing it. So don't worry if the number of reps you can do drops off a lot, because in the long run I think it's just going to give you a lot better strengthening effect. When you're trying to judge how well you're progressing in your training, don't always look for increased reps or increased amount of weight lifted. Sometimes just being able to perform the technique better and to have a more controlled fluid movement is just as important as increasing the weight in reps. I'm definitely guilty of having focused too much on the numbers in the past, just worrying about if I could get one more rep or add another 5 pounds to the bar, and it's never really helped me in the long run. As a matter of fact, I usually end up getting injured when I'm too obsessed with the numbers, because I'm only concerned with that and I start to ignore how my body is feeling during the workouts. It's much better to be a little bit conservative in your workouts so that you stay safe than to really push beyond your limits and end up with an injury that could set you back for several months. I don't know if you'll find any serious athlete who's never had some kind of injury, but the point is that you learn from your mistakes and you make it less likely to reoccur in the future. So I hope you decide to give this workout a shot. It's really a great muscle and endurance builder. And remember, you can substitute the exercises with different movements depending on what your current strength and ability level is. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments how the workout goes for you, and I'll see you next time.
Except for the first part.